The first one will want to start with a very interesting one, is that a lot has been talked around employee satisfaction surveys. A lot of tools out there. We want to take your viewpoint, and
Well,
if he's
I'm
yeah.
right. I'm not really a big fan of these timely employee satisfaction surveys, which are done through various tools, mostly online. So the employees' motivation at a particular time of the year and hour of the day varies quite a bit. And the feedback which you take through surveys normally doesn't give you very accurate results. It is either very positive or very negative. I've seen a lot of people just ticking the boxes without thinking about the questions and the answers. And that also leads to a lot of bias in the final results that you get. So, what I've found is the better result is to keep the connect ongoing with the employees through various models. One of the models which I have found very useful is having this business partner approach, where one of the important KRAs of the business partners is connect with the employees. So this is done in terms of meetings with the employees one on one, or it can be a collective town hall kind of meeting, but not really in a format where people start complaining in a session and the whole session becomes a complaining session. It's more like asking questions. Tell me, how are you feeling? How's your family? Are you happy with your manager? Very basic questions, which can then lead to conversations which give you the real insights into how the person feels about your organization and specifically about his role in the organization. So I'm calling it Pulse in the current format that I'm using. And we are 5,000 people strong. But then the feedback which comes in need not cover all 5,000 people. It's more like you take a sample size and you connect with your workforce. And then the results which come pretty much are a better reflection of what you'd get in an employee satisfaction survey. Now, many in my position would find employee satisfaction surveys much better, much more professional, much more scientific, data driven, etc. But I think what they miss is this people to people connect. We miss out on a lot of important pointers because we don't hear from people directly. So then to sum it up, I would say you do your surveys, but you also keep an eye on what's happening at the ground by going to people, asking meaningful questions, and then making a very informed decision on what are the action items that need to be tackled first. Do you need to change your salary? Do you need to provide better structure of the salary for tax saving? Or at some point, do you want to do something like a performance incentive to motivate them? So, all in all, the decision has to be made keeping everything in mind. And only then you are able to achieve what employee satisfaction survey is meant to achieve, which is meaningful change in your organization for the better. Right. So, that's my two bits on employee satisfaction surveys and whether to do them or not.
Yeah, means if we hear to through the grapevine communication that happens within the organizations, a lot of the people are also kind of afraid of speaking out up front because they feel that somewhere this employee satisfaction survey is gonna, predict the attrition inside the organization, whether I'm gonna leave or not, because these guys will not take a steps for means, that's what
Correct.
especially the middle managers and all those people start feeling.
Yes, there is a little bit of doubt and lack of trust there. People do feel that these satisfaction surveys are anonymous, but not really. And many times it happens that people who have given very honest opinions get pointed out. And that's a major challenge. Third party surveys help, but then again, it's how the employees trust you and the organization or not, which again determines how they respond. So, for me, doing surveys using third parties has been an option. And I've exercised this last year. But to be honest, the results which came out were so detailed and, they were basically saying something, but they were not giving a clear answer. So everything else was left up to us to analyze and come up with an action plan, which we did. But in general, I would prefer a direct answer from our employees, an honest answer, which basically gives me a clear sense of where most of my workforce is in terms of their engagement with the organization. Otherwise, a series of interventions don't help. They basically lead to more chaos because people start thinking that why is management so hell bent on getting my input on how I feel about the organization. And then the feedback that they give again becomes very superficial, very offhand, doesn't give the real picture at all. So either you do a great job of understanding your people, which is actually what why we do these surveys, right? By talking to them, interacting with them, going to the shop floor and meeting your people, knowing their names, sometimes knowing their family details, just asking a question like, "How's your son?" And if you remember the name, that's an experience which employees never forget. And of course, in large organization, that becomes very difficult to do. But what it very cleverly does is it shows to people that we really care. And most of the time I have seen that those people whom you know personally become the champions for everything good that you're doing. You know, they go and talk to other employees, and that helps a lot. So you identify these moments in your journey where you will find people who become your allies without you making a great attempt. One of the ways of doing that is giving that personal edge to your conversations. And I've found it to be really effective. I've had great friends throughout my career simply because there was a little bit of that personal touch to our interactions. And then they realize the warmth and the personality behind the position, so to speak. And then they become your lifelong friends and allies.
So it can't be completely automated. There
No,
has to be